Hello, welcome back to Ready Steady Play, and today it's going to be Hoplomachus Part 2. So we are 10 weeks into Act 1 of Hoplomachus Victorum, the game in which our gladiator hero adventures across a fantasy world trying to bring down an adversary. And we are playing with the standard setup, which I've discussed previously. We are playing with an Atlantean hero called Krakenlance, and we are playing against the scion known as Taotie, a giant angry creature. Speaking of giant angry creatures, here comes Bonbon. She's a tiny angry creature. You're just gonna sit just off camera and threaten disaster? Is that what's happening? Anyway, where we left off last time, I showed a couple of games, and I can see Keru's here in chat. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're on North American time today. But yeah, so we did all of two or three games on stream last time as we prepared for this sort of final bout that we've got coming up here as we move back into we've moved back into the new Argonauts. I haven't put out my chip. How will we know where we are on the map without our chip? I've got it. It's right here. We are here. So we're here in the land of the new Argonauts, and we are going to do two moves, and then our third move is here into final boss fight, which I think is going to, if I remember correctly, put us one week over the limit because I've been miscounting my moves. But that's okay. We'll just get to Bane and then we'll move on with our lives. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tricky. And we've got to do, I think, I remember the dilemma now. I remember the dilemma. So, the dilemma at the end of the last stream was this. If we move on to here, we can do a bloodshed match. When we move on to here, we can do what's called a sport match. And then we move in here and do the boss fight. And the dilemma is that the bloodshed match is, as is its namesake, it's hard, and we could lose units, people could die. The reward is also less appealing. If we take on the sport match here, which is King of the Hill, it's more straightforward. We can't actually lose any permanent units there. The reward, which could be, in this case, a refillment of our tactics chips, which we don't actually have any of, that could be a lot more useful. However, the downside of that is we'd have to do that next, and what we really want is to make sure we go into the boss fight with all of our hit points on our champion here. And so when we do a little rest, he gets or a spectate rather. When we do a spectate, he gets all of his chips back, which is great. But and we also actually we don't pass a week when we spectate, isn't that right? Or am I making that up? Yes, skip the cleanup phase. So we actually don't lose a week. So we could feasibly get into the boss arena maybe without getting a Bane chip. The Bane chip is the stack over here of evil chips, and they're horrible. And I don't want to draw even a single one of them. But we're almost certainly going to have to. But they've got this ominous red skull on the front, so if we can avoid that at all, if at all possible, that'd be great. So, the decision is, which of these two games do we play? I don't think this King of the Hill match is necessarily any easier than the Forgotten Master. In King of the Hill, we just have to occupy one of these spots for 6 rounds, They'll have more people than us. This gives us the opportunity to actually take Scion influence to heal our hero, but we don't want to do that because we're going to take a Bane chip, so we could lose this, in which case we'd take a Scion influence anyway for losing, because it's Act 1, we'd get one Scion influence. That's not the end of the world, but I don't really want to do that. On the other side, the Forgotten Master is only one enemy that shows up. We've got 3 of our own guys, but that one enemy is super duper tough. And it just she wants to go back out again. It just so happens to be this, not this enemy, that's the wrong enemy. It's gonna be this enemy here. So it's gonna have 8 hit points, it's gonna have Retaliate, it's gonna have 3 black dice and a blue dice on attack. It's gonna be rough. So I'm just not sure which one of these ones to do. And in a perfect world, they'd also be in the reversed order on this map. I'm mostly just worried about this. I don't want to get there and, you know, have none of the means with which to win it. Alright, princess. Off you go. Get out of here. Leave me to stream. Okay. Oh, who's this? Right, my defender. So I've got my camp over here. We've got Krakenlance, of course. And then we've got this guy here, Bastorius. He's pretty good. The Ignean is pretty good. We've got 2 ranged units. They've got 1 and 2 movement. The Murmillo has 2 movement as well, which you can't really see. You can kind of see. Which is a real shame, because if the Murmillo had 1 movement, that could be a strategy. Like, use the archers, outpace him, just take him out at range. Sadly, that's not going to be massively viable. If we take Dark Revenant, maybe I just spectate twice. No, that's no good at all. If we go up against... I also don't... No, I've talked myself... I remember I talked myself into this last time. We're just going to have to go for a Dark Revenant and hope we don't lose too many hit points on our hero. So the first thing we're going to do, actually, in this round is to advance a space up to here. And then we're going to choose to spectate. So we have to discard the Forgotten Master card. It goes to the back of the deck. And we'll get a new one, which is going to be... Actually, we get to draw 3. Yes, we get to draw 3 and then arrange them in any order we like. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. We've got giants. In this one, we have lots of units. The earth trembled beneath their footfall. Their war cries could rouse the damned. Okay, so actually we only have 1 more unit, and they all have 2 health. I don't like that. That's not fun. We've got the Brute. I get 1 unit. You can only deploy 1 non-elite unit in this combat, but it has plus 10 health. That's interesting. And we've got poison darts here as well. At the start of each of your turns, deal 1 damage to your hero if they are not in combat. That's fine. Alright, I like this giant one's the least. So let's put the Brute on top, because that seems like fun. And then we'll do poison darts, and then we'll do giants at the back, I think. Yeah. And then we get to gain silent influence. That's a bummer, but it has to be done. So that's over here on this track here. So we're going to move this sword up 1 more spot. Ooh, very close to our first Bane. I'm not super stoked about that. And then we can heal our hero. I think he's on full hit points already, though. It's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're already on our full hit points, so that's fine. Right, and then we're back to the top, wherein we're gonna move over here and do this sporting event. So here it is, the Dark Revenant. I guess let's get ready for that. And I'm gonna have to deploy my hero as the first unit I deploy, but I don't know what the second unit I deploy will be. We'll have to find out. We've got one local, which is going to be the Murmelo we saw previously. Let's see who else we've got here. We've got one local. So, fortunately they don't have any tactics, so that's nice. And then we've got 3 bag heroes as well. So here's hoping I pull some nice easy ones. We'll have to see what comes out of the bag. The bag of fate. There's some nice easy ones in here and some not nice easy ones. We've got Tactician. Well, the Tactician does 1 guaranteed damage and gives them tactical. Fortunately, they don't have any tactics. And most importantly, fortunately, it has low hit points. Oh, I'm also going to have to elect one of these to be the Tribune. It's going to be whoever's here. Tribune comes out last. What have we got? We've got Bastorius. Bastorius has Retaliate and Combat Lock. It's nasty. I'm thinking what I'm going to do, my strategy already that's formulating in my head here, it's not particularly complicated. This is these 3 weapon racks where we can grab these extra weapon dice are also the King of the Hill points. So we need to hold this to get points, and in this particular arena you have 2 units on the board at any given time, and they're effectively shackled together like an old gladiatorial combat. So they can only move into spaces adjacent to one another, so they kind of have to move around each other like this. So my intention is to kind of just get onto this hill here and then just stand here and ideally bring someone ranged next to my hero and just ping people off the board. Bear in mind that I'll probably bring our opportunity hero here, Zeno of Gargarai, because he's range 2 and he's got a good ranged attack. I mean, it's not great. That's not terrible. My leader gives him Inspire as well, which is nice. He's got First Strike, and also he can't die in this particular match, which is really important, because I would also like to have him for the boss. So that's sort of my plan at the moment, but we'll have to see what or how these other rivals are going to change that. As with most of these chip theory games, you can have a sort of a basic strategy in mind, and then something's going to come out that's just going to force you to completely reconsider it. And our last one here is the Bolus Hunter. First Strike does 1 black, 1 yellow. It's also got Confidence, which I think means if it's the last piece left on the board, it if it's the last piece left on the board, it gets an extra attack die or something. I mean, I have 2 movement as well, so there's a slim chance that what I could do actually is spend most of the game just avoiding these 2 pieces and not killing them, and ideally just kind of swinging back around between the 3 swinging back and forth between the 3 King of the Hill sites, in such a way that I can accrue 6 points without taking too much damage and not killing too many. Because, you know, this guy, I don't really want to see him on the board because he's got Retaliate, which hurts me if I hurt him. He's also got Combat Lock, which stops me moving if I'm next to him, which is bad. I hate all that. And then this one here, I'm going to make the Tribune. So I don't want to see him on the board either, because then I can't... If I kill him, my hero loses all their hit points right before the boss fight, which would be a catastrophe. So I think what I'll probably be doing with my hero is just the occasional... Vampiric Blow. I've still got my special Vampiric Blow attack, which lets me take health from my enemies. I don't have anything that slows people down, do I? No, that's not real. I suppose we could just take the Defender with Taunt to try and protect our hero's abilities. sorry, our hero's hit points. Yeah, I like that idea, actually. Maybe we take the... we've got two chips with taunt here. We've got the standard defender, and we've also got the Ignean, which is one of Pluto's refugees, and he's also got intercept blow, which literally lets him dive in front of, say, a ranged attack to protect the hero. But they both have movement 1, which means we'll be less agile. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that too much for now, because our enemy's going first, and also we haven't even deployed yet. So, with that in mind, though, I think that's we're all set up there. We've got our Tribune, we've got our combat rules set up here, and we're all set, ready to go. Hey, Chaticus, no, you've missed nothing. We're about to start the first fight. I was just explaining my preliminary strategic thoughts. But here we go. We're about to start right now. And the first thing that's going to happen is this enemy chip is going to appear right here. And so that's Murmillo with Retaliate and Shove. Retaliate means if you hit it and don't kill it and you're adjacent to it, then you take 1 damage. And Shove means it pushes you away. But I'm not quite entirely sure how that works for the AI. This unit displaces an adjacent unit 1 hex away from it and simultaneously moves onto that hex when vacated. This triggers if the movement allows a rival unit to get an attack or special when it would otherwise get neither. I don't see how that could be possible, but I suppose actually what it's gonna do is it's gonna use Shove to shove its friend. Right, and that's an ability, so that's going to trigger in the ability step, which is before the engagement step. So actually, effectively, the Murmillo has like almost an extra unit of movement, because if we wound up in a situation, say like this, the Murmillo can't attack, so what it would do is it would shove the Tactician into here, and then move in here itself using its ability. Which is just another thing we're going to have to think about. That's no fun at all. I don't like that. But here, what we'll do, I think, is we'll deploy leader here. And then it's going to be Murmillo's turn already. Oh, but there's a... Do we deploy 2 at a time in this one? Yes, we do. We deploy 2 at a time. So actually, Tactician should be here. And also, we deploy 2 as well. Because that's the special rules for this particular arena. Remember, we're tied together. So let's send out Defender then. I'm thinking we just taunt and hope to basically sacrifice our Defender units. Trying to buy time to score points on King of the Hill and kill basically no one. If we do take any damage onto our leader, then we will... use Vampiric Blow to try and heal that. But speaking of which, when we deployed our leader just now, we should roll 2 yellow dice for the grand entrance. So we're just going to see if we do any damage to the Murmillo when we appear on the board here. And the answer is no, we missed. Okay. So then it's going to be their turn. And we can effectively activate they can't deploy anything because they've got no deployment spots, and you're also only allowed to have 2 on the board in this particular match in any case. So, now we can activate them both. The Tactician has a lot of movement, so it's going to be able to get next to us and hit us this round. The Murmillo will probably also get next to us. Now they're going to target the hero because the hero is the deadliest. And they target deadliest opponent, but then they'll have to wind up hitting Defender. I wish I had... It's going to take us so long to get onto one of these King of the Hills thanks to this shackled mechanism. This match might not go very well. Okay, so, do I move... I think I move Murmillo first, because Murmillo is going to limit the movement of Tactician by dint of the fact that they are chained together. And so Murmillo wants to get here because it wants to get close to the deadliest opponent. It would try to get here because this is a shorter... Well, actually, no, that's 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, so it doesn't matter. So Murmillo is actually only going to be able to move here because it's shackled to Tactician, and it can't move into spaces that are not adjacent to Tactician. And then it's Tactician's turn, and Tactician's going to go 1, 2 into here and grab this yellow die, which is now a weapon that increases its attack, and that's as far as it can get because it's shackled to Murmillo. And then they can't attack. So then it's back to me. Oh, Murmillo can shove, actually. So after movement... Oh, will Murmillo shove Tactician? I don't think so. No, because the shoving of the Tactician will not allow Murmillo to get an attack. So it won't shove. Which is, of course, exactly as I planned it with my mighty strategic brain, and definitely not a happy accident. Now it's back to me. Defender can only move 1. So Defender moves in here next to Tactician, and then our mighty leader can move 1. And 1 up to here, I'm just not sure about this. So the point of this would be to hit Tactician. We could feasibly kill Tactician this round. It would force Murmillo to move back here, and then Bastarius would come onto the field. I'm just not sure how I feel about that. In terms of, am I really going to attack Bastarius? Because it's got Retaliate. That's the problem. Then again, Tactician just does a damage anyway, so that's kind of the same thing. It's not really. It's sort of the same thing. It's just as scary. So I don't know. I could stand here with... no, I'll tell you what, actually. I'll go here because I like the movement better. Let's kill the Tactician. I've chucked myself into it. God, I don't know how good I am at the strategy in this game. But, oh, that's not a very good shot. Let's see if we can get a better shot with this. Okay. So, let's murder the Tactician then. We'll attack first with our hero. And I'll just do a full-on actual attack. Which is a black dice and 2 blue dice. Well, that's 3 damage. Right there. So, that's just going to straight up kill the Tactician. And what happens there is it drops its weapon. So its 2 chips are lost. And the Murmillo is forced to come back here. And then that's the end of my turn because I cannot attack with the Defender anymore. And so it'll be back to the other side, and we'll get Bastarius coming out here. Bastarius is dazed, so it can't actually move, but Murmillo will trigger, but it's just going to advance 1 to here, because that's all it can do. Oh yeah, and locals have Perfect Strike in this, so Murmillo has Perfect Strike, which means if it rolls nothing but hits, it will get double damage, which is also quite scary. And then it's just back to my turn, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move Defender here, and our hero here. So now we can start accruing King of the Hill points. We're basically just going to stand here and try to soak damage, and see if we can get 6 points before it gets really scary. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, maybe they'll roll really badly, right? That would be great. So it's back to their turn, and I think... I mean, I think we activate Murmillo first to slow them down. It would be nice for Murmillo to pick up that yellow dice instead of Bastarius, because that yellow dice would actually vastly decrease its chances of a perfect strike. However, if we activate Murmillo second, then Bastarius, well, then it will attack us, and we don't want that. So here's Bastarius. So Murmillo activates first, it can't move, and then Bastarius activates second and goes 1, 2 like this, and picks up the yellow die. And that's the best they can do for now. And then it's our turn. We just stand there, get a point. 1 of 6. And now, who do we activate first? Well, I guess we activate Bastarius first, so it can't get to us. And then Murmillo activates, and he goes... He wants to get adjacent to me, so he has to move in here. And then in the combat phase, he attacks the defender. So that's good. So that's 1 black and 1 blue. Alright, I see 1 damage. Oh, they both have retaliate. I just realized both of these enemies have retaliate. That's nasty. So 1 damage to the defender. And that's it. For now. And then it's back to us and we get a point. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. So we're basically just trying to wait them out. Because we don't want the Tribune to appear. Ideally. So, here we go. Just kill the defender really slowly. Oh wait, actually we need to, before we even do any of that, we need to activate... Okay, so now we have a problem. Because Bastarios is going to move around to here to attack us and not be next to defender. I didn't think about that. And now it's too late for me to do anything about it. So maybe we can offset Bastarios' attack with Vampiric Blow. I don't know, but this might be... we might have to kill Murmillo. I don't like it. This is very quickly... My strategy is very quickly falling apart. As the things I didn't realize were going to happen start to happen. Yeah, it's a lack of strategic insight on my part. So we do Murmillo first anyway. So here's Murmillo's attack. So that's another hit. There, like, can I make this camera just a little bit better, maybe? Instead of horrible. I guess that's the best we'll get for now. So, that's 1 sword anyway. And 1 damage to defender. And then Bastarius is going to attack us. Which is going to be these 3 dice. Oh, ouch! 3 damage. I hate it. I hate it. That's awful. That's half our hit points. I'm not happy. Alright, that's upsetting. And then it's back to our turn. And I think I'm going to start with our noble leader, and I'm going to do Vampiric Blow. Yeah. So that's 2 golds and a green, because we have this green weapon. And we're going to hit Bastarius, and we're going to attempt to steal its hit points to heal ourselves. Every attack we make, we need to get at least 1 here, or else this whole thing... why did you throw 3 swords for them? That's a good question, Taticus. Why did I throw 3 swords for them? You know, why can't I just throw 3 blanks for them? Here we go. So this is me into Bastarius. I ideally need at least 2 here. Hey! Well, I've also managed to get 3 from me, so I guess I'm just really good at rolling swords, no matter who's attacking. So, Bastarius goes down to 1 hit point left, and I gain back 3 hit points, and then I immediately take 1 damage. So I get 2, because I get Retaliate. Okay, so we can still attack with Defender. I don't think there's much point, to be honest, because I don't think he can kill Murmelo, who's still got 3. In fact, I know he can't because he only rolls 2 dice. So, I think we should just leave it for now. Which means it's back to their turn. And yeah, we might as well attack with oh yeah, we might as well attack with Murmelo first. The good news is he can't kill Defender. Well, he can kill Defender actually if he rolls 2. Oh, why am I saying this? If he rolls 2 swords, he will kill Defender, and that would be really, really, really bad. Don't roll 2 swords. Chaticus, pray for me. Not 2 swords. Anything but 2 swords. Hey, 1 sword. We did it. Good work. Alright, so that's 1 damage on Defender. And then it's Bastarius into us, which is these 3, isn't it? Come on, blanks. Show me the blanks. Get all those blanks out of your system. That's 2. I'm not loving it. Okay. So, it's back to my turn. This ticks up to 4. This is our chance. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Vampiric Blow on Murmelo, and then I'm going to do try and finish him off with Defender, and hopefully we can kill him. So, here's Vampiric Blow. It's normally just 2 yellows. We get an extra blue for the green for the weapon. Come on, big numbers. There's a Retaliate here, so come on, big numbers. Oh, 2. I'll take it. So we basically take 2 damage off of Murmelo. He hits us back for 1, so we recover a single hit point. And then it's time for Defender. Defender gets 1 black dice and 1 blue dice, thanks to Inspire from Krakenlance. So ideally he'll finish off Murmelo here. And then hopefully we should be able to take this up to 6 before the end of the round. I see 1 sword. I see 2 swords, but 1 was actually all we needed. So Murmelo is dead, and Bastarius must go back here. Now I don't think when that happens, I don't think he drops his weapon. No. Ah, but the next unit is deployed immediately. Okay, so the Bolus Hunter immediately comes out, which means on their turn they won't be dazed. Interesting. Okay, I probably took 1 extra turn away from them earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't know. So, there we go. It's now back to their turn, and the Bolus Hunter is not dazed because she deployed last time. So I think we move first with Bastarius because it's got 2 movement and it can only get in here. And then Bolus Hunter wants to get next to us. It's 1, 2, 3 is the shortest route. So it moves up here. And then it tries to attack. It's got range 2. It's out of range. It actually also could have attacked last turn because it's got first strike, which means it can attack even if it's dazed. But it was out of range. It was way out of range. So anyway, it's our turn. So this ticks up to 5. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Defender around to here. So that means Defender's going to soak damage from their turn next time. Yeah, they're both gonna... Oh, that's gonna be bad, though, because if they kill Defender, then we both have to move back here. If I keep Defender here, They can't get next to us because Bastarius moves 2, but Bolus Hunter moves 1 only. So they won't be able to get next to us. It just means that she's going to shoot our noble leader here, which is a bummer. But if Defender moves out here and then next turn they both kill him, I'll be moved back here and then we'll be on 5 for too long. So that's a bad move, actually. I think we just have to soak a little bit more damage on Krakenlance. And Chadicus asks, what do the 3 colors mean? Green, orange, and red. I assume you're referring to the statistics on the chips. So green is the movement value of the chip. And... oh, there we go. The one below that is their range. So 1 means adjacent. And the one below that is their hit points, which is also represented by the number of chips under them. But as the game progresses and they take damage, the chips are removed. So... the Bolus Hunter here is range 2. So the Bolus Hunter can attack things that are 2 hexes away. And our leader doesn't have any stats on them at all because their stats are all over here on this fancy pad with swords in it to track their stats. So we've got range 1 and movement 2 and 6 health, which are all up here, and then our attack dice are over here. Because we can upgrade them as we go. Okay, so with that in mind, that's the end of my turn. I choose to just stand here and be king of the hill. Which means that it's now their turn. I will move Bastarius first. I actually don't know if it moves, because the only tile it can move into is here. Oh, that is closer. Yes, so it will move. It'll move in here, because that's closer than its current tile to its target, which is me. And then it's Bolus Hunter, and shortest path to me is tied. That's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, so I can choose. So I'll put her down here, which means she's not in range of me, which is great. So if I could just visualize all of this stuff at all times, I would not lose this game. But I can't visualize this stuff all the time, so that's why... well, actually, to be fair, I've been doing all right. Touch wood before we get to the Primus, which is the big boss fight we're doing after this. So it's our turn, and this ticks up to 6, and I think... oh, no, it's not our turn. It's time for Bolus Hunter to attack Defender. Oh, this is still bad, actually. Maybe can I move her the other way? Yeah, why don't I... wait, because she wants to get next to me, right? No, but she'll prioritize him if she can get into range of him. Oh, that's really bad, actually. If she kills him, I'm in so much trouble. I hate it. But it is what it is. Here, I was literally just congratulating myself. And now I'm sad. Come on! It's blanks! I did it! I evade the bolus shot. Fantastic. Okay, good news. So that means that it's our turn and this ticks up to 6, and I think we win. Because I think 6 points is what we need to win King of the Hill. I think we win immediately. Is what I'm trying to say. Let's go. I know 6 points is what we need to win. Combat ends immediately and you win. Fantastic. Good. We did it. Thanks, Chadicus. Very supportive. I appreciate that. Okie dokie. So let's pop these back down here. And we'll move the little camera here out of my camp. And we'll move all of our folks back to the camp. Our leader keeps their hit points. So we only got 4 out of 6, which is not ideal. But you know what? It could be worse. So this was a sporting event, which means as a reward, we can either take, I believe for sporting events, we take one of their chips. Yes, we can take one of their chips, or we can gain all of our tactics back. And I think what we want to do is gain our tactics back, because we've got leadership of 6, which means we can only have one more chip. But in the Primus fight, I don't think we can take all of our chips anyway. And furthermore, I really want those tactics. So we can have up to... I think it's 4 tactics, because we've got a +1 tactic card here. Master Tactician. So I think it's 3 + 1. We can take any tactics we want out of here as well. Which is nice. So let's just make sure I'm doing this quite right. So it's the cleanup phase. I should mark a week on the ticker here. We get to collect our reward, which is tactics. So we can have bolster health, which might be useful. Stun is really useful. So stun is... I turned off autofocus for this. So stun is going to come into focus in a minute. Or it's not. I have to... I'm going to get this in a minute. You just bear with me. 2 seconds. I'll tell you why that's not working, because I'm adjusting the wrong camera. Apologies. Right, there we go. This unit is fatigued until the end of its next turn. So, really useful. Basically just takes a unit out of a fight for a turn, which can be critical. Especially if you could just take them off the board really quickly. So stun is really good. Adrenaline's really good. Adrenaline is +1 movement to their unit. It's just a permanent buff until they die. Is that everything we can have here? No, we can also get Hamstring. Hamstring's extremely useful if they've got a slow unit. It says this unit cannot attack on a turn, then it moves. I think those are all the ones we have access to at the moment. Yeah, because you can unlock more of these, but that's it for now. Oh, I don't know which ones to take, because we can take duplicates as well. I really like Stun and Hamstring. Krakenlance is tactical as well, so if Krakenlance is on the board, then we can deploy these on any enemies. If you don't have a tactical character on the board, then you have to play them onto adjacent units. So I'll have a little bit... So, like... I think, though, actually, Hamstring is especially useful in this arena. Let's have a quick little sneaky look and see what we're actually going to be up against in the Primus fight. Because we should know this. And the only reason I don't is because I've not done one before. I know. So here we go. So this is these are the Primus fights across the 3 acts. So this first Primus fight here is going to be 3 locals and then the Primus. And the Primus brings with them a tactics chip. So the Primus we're fighting is Decimus. Here, Decimus has this horrible... Decimus is horrible. I mean, for a start, we can't use tactics on Decimus because Decimus is an elite unit, hence the big thick chip. Decimus has 2 movement, 3 attack dice, a black, a green, and a blue. Decimus has 1 range, so he attacks adjacent to himself. He's got 6 hit points, but he's also got tactical, so he can place his tactic anywhere. And because he's a tactical unit, he's going to come into play with the Hamstring chip. So he's going to come in and play Hamstring on the deadliest opponent with that Hamstring, which can't be, of course, Krakenlance. You can't use tactics on Krakenlance either because he's elite. But he's also got... The real reason Decimus is such an awful character is he's got Inspire, so everyone next to him gets a blue die. So ideally we have to take out all 3 locals before he appears on the board. I mean, it won't be possible thanks to the Shackle rule. He will appear with someone, but we can also try to wound that person before Decimus gets on the board. But Absorb is the bad one. Absorb means that all damage dealt to him is reduced to 1. So we have to hit him 6 times to kill him. We can't shortcut it. Which is one of the reasons why he's the first Primus I've decided to fight. Because as these go on, as the acts go on, the Primuses start with an increasing amount of health. So if we fought him in Act 3, he'd have 10 hit points instead of 6 that he starts with in this one. And, you know, I mean, they've also got hit points on here, but these increases override those hit points, I think, unless the hit points would be more, something like that. Yeah, the Primus's health is determined by the act. So, yikes. 10 hit points with Absorb would suck. Although I haven't really looked at these other ones. I mean, she's got... Bingquing has Dodge, which is awful. The Parthian also has Dodge. How bad is Dodge? Maybe should have checked this before. These are our other Primuses that we're eventually going to have to fight as we move through the game. We've got the Parthian here and Bingquing as well. Once we've defeated all 3 Primuses, we get to go and fight the Scion in the big final battle. So Dodge. Dodge is when this unit is attacked by a non-elite, all of their good dice become shitty dice. So that's gonna be. I think that's not as bad as Absorb. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm gonna ditch Adrenaline as much as I like Adrenaline. And it is good. I think I'd rather have a Bolster Health, because a Heal 2 is just quite nice, and you can go over your max hit points with it, although I'll probably end up using it on my hero if he gets into trouble. I like a Stun. A Stun at the right moment can be great. I'm going to take a Hamstring, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a second Hamstring, because I like Hamstring. So, those are the tactics that we're going to have for the boss fight. I'm going to put these ones away for now. I am putting everything into the wrong trays. Okay. And for all intents and purposes, Dark Revenant is complete, so it's discarded. We can see what the next sporting event is. Trickster's Incline. I've not seen this one before. When accepted, you may discard any number of tactics from your camp to begin the event with the same number of King of the Hill points. Okay. That's fine. Maybe that'd be a nice easy win. Anyway, that's the end of the cleanup step, which means I do believe we're back to the the map. And that means we're going, boom, into this capital city here for the Primus fight. Okay. And I should have just kept the rulebook out so I could set up the Primus's battle line. I don't know why I got rid of it. I also don't know why it's not printed on the back. The back's got a helpful guide, but it doesn't have the Primus's battle line. Maybe because you only do 3 fights during the whole thing. Alright, here we go. So it's local Primus with a tactic. We already discussed the tactic as well, so the tactic is going to be hamstring, right? That's what I said? Yeah, it's a hamstring. Oh, actually, if we took all the hamstrings, then he can't... See, okay, so what I could have actually done there as well was taken 3 hamstrings, and then he couldn't have got one, and maybe I should have done that. But I didn't think to do it, so now I'm going to punish myself for not being clever enough to do that. But those are the kinds of cheeky things you can get up to in these solo mode chip theory games. Alright, so also all of these people should be back in the bag. And we're not going to put any bag people into this fight. Instead, we're just going to pull the top 3 from the local stack here, which is going to be... The first one's going to be this Provocateur. So it's got 3 movement, 1 range, 2 health. It's got tactical and inspire. That shouldn't be too bad. We can probably kill that. We've got Secutor, 1 movement, 1 range, 4 health, no focus. Come on. Come on, camera. You can do it, bud. You just had it. You just had it. Taunt and absorb. Okay, absorb. Nasty. Hate it. That's 2 things with Absorb. And then we've got the Murmillo with Retaliate and Shove. I hate it. And then we've got Decimus. Okie dokie. I don't really want to... I just remembered that this is like straight up death. This is bloodshed. So if I was just thinking like I'm gonna send Xenos of Gargarai in there and he's gonna be like taking names, but if he dies, he's dead and I'll be sad. I mean, I suppose he'll go into the bag and then he could come back out again from the bag and then I could recruit him again if it's a sporting event. I think that's how it works, but I don't know. Yeah, I should probably use him though. If I don't use him for this, then when am I ever going to use him, right? Anyway, here's 2 hit points for you. What's all this Absorb? I'm not a big fan. 4 hit points for you. 3 for you. And 6 for the big man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's an intimidating stack right there of enemies that we're going to have to kill. Oof. I don't... Do I have... There's not any special rules otherwise for this, is there? That I have to, like, deploy my hero first or anything. You cannot spectate. You cannot surrender. Take care to make sure you're ready before you go into the capital. Well, I was out of time, so... Yeah. Nope. That's it. There's no other special rules for this. So, it is what it is. Alright, I think Xeno of Gargarai has just... What has he got? First strike. That means he can attack the turn he's deployed, which is not helpful in this match. We've also got Agile. What's Agile on him? This unit rolls dice equal to its attack and deals damage to its target. Oh yeah, that's right. So his whole thing is that he doesn't trigger stuff like... Does he bypass Absorb? Yes, he does. So actually, we want him out. Oh my god, okay. That makes him our MVP. We need to save him for the Primus. So Agile effectively means that instead of attacking, what you do is you just roll dice and the target takes that much damage. And the reason this wording is important is because that allows you to bypass things that trigger off attacking, like Taunt, for example. He can ignore Taunt. And Absorb. He can ignore Absorb. Alright, so we save him. He comes out at the end when we fight the Primus. I mean, it still means we have to fight Secutor without him, but I don't want to put him out against at the very first thing, and then he dies before we get to him, before we get to use his powers. So let's start with because they're going to start with Provocateur and Secutor. So let's start with our hero. How many people do I get? Damn it. Let's take a photo of this on my phone. Or actually get a bookmark. Somebody get me a bookmark. How many units do I get in total for this? All of them. You will need all of them. I get 3. I can have 3. Yeah, so that's why I was saying before. It's not really important to... not really important necessarily to have all 6 of my chips, because I can only use 3 units anyway. So we're going to probably use him. Not sure about these other ones. I'm quite tempted to take Bastarius because of Retaliate. Yeah, let's see if we can get Bastarius. Unfortunately, they've also all got Perfect Strike as well, which is really scary. So we'll have to see if we can avoid that. That means if they roll all hits, then we take double damage, which is awful. Okay, so with this in mind, I guess the combat is ready to begin. And they'll start by deploying Provocateur and then Secutor. And they're going to look for someone to use a tactic on, and there's no one there for tactics. So, too bad, so sad. Right. Secutor is really slow. We could try using Archer against him. If we could get Archer to pick up a weapon, and she's next to my leader, and they're always going to be targeting my leader anyway, that might actually be a really good shout. So let's see about leader here. Yeah, okay, I've talked myself into trying Archer. Archer here. Archer also has first strike, but it's not going to matter. And when I come onto the board, I get to do my grand entry. Come on. Show me some swords. One sword. So that's 1 damage to our strongest enemy, which is Secutor. So that's helpful. Good. Okay. And now it's their turn. And we definitely trigger Provocateur first, who just moves up to here. And then Secutor just moves down here. And then it's back to us. And I have... How much movement do I have? I have 2 movement, don't I? Doesn't matter. Let's do... I'll move 1 up here. I have to go first because we want Archer to go get that weapon. So Archer can move up there. Which is kind of a bummer because she can't even attack. Maybe we put Archer up there then, and then at least she can attack this round. Yeah, I mean, he's got Absorb anyway, so what is it going to matter if she gets the weapon? Really? Oh, incidentally, they should have absolutely used Hamstring on her. On their turn. Because they have Tactical and Provocateur, and I didn't even think about that. So that means that actually, if she does move up there, she can't attack anyway. So... So maybe leader moves 1-2 around to here and goes and gets the weapon. Yeah, I think this is a bad idea. One green dice. I don't like either of these characters. So I'm also going to use my tactic, which is going to be Hamstring on Provocateur. Provocateur scares me. Yep. I don't like my movement. So tactics comes after movement. I'm pretty sure of it. No, it comes before movement. So, that's fine then. So we're still here. I'm still debating. I don't like this move. I don't like any of my options here, actually. I don't really like that I'm using my hero to protect Archer either. On the other hand, what we're really trying to do here, because realistically, we've got so many blessings that we're not gonna like die here. I suspect it would have to get really unlucky to die here, thanks to because we've got 7 blessings. We used 1, so this is the baby's first Hoplomachus game. And so a blessing, when our hero would die, we spend a blessing and we just go back up to full health. But it's a long game, This is the first of 4 bosses, and so we don't really want to blow through all of our blessings in this game either. So really what we're trying to do here is minimize the amount of blessings we actually have to spend. Yeah, so I guess let's do this movement. I'm not super stoked about it, but it is what it is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let Secutor move first. And Secutor will come in here and pick this up, and he's going to hit leader, but that's okay. And then I'll let Provocateur move. And Provocateur is going to go 1, 2 around to here. And it would like to hit leader, but it can't at the moment. Or, sorry, Krakenlance. But it can't at the moment because it's hamstrung. So, at least there's that. So we're going to have these 2 dice coming at us from Secutor. Wow, can't see any of that. It is a sword and a blank. So, 1 damage on Krakenlance. Not ideal. I need to get that weapon, actually, so I can use a decent vampiric attack with him. I like that vampiric attack a lot. I thought it would be bad, and I've changed my mind completely. So that's the end of their turn anyway. So it's back to me. So yeah, I think I can buy a time to get leader over here to get a weapon. Because I think what we do is we move Archer up here. And then we can go 1, 2 with leader and pick up this weapon. And that means we can't attack this round, but also we can move them in such a way that they can't attack next round either. Oh no, actually they will attack Archer, I think. Let me just have a think here, because what they're going to do is, if I move Provocateur first, Provocateur is going to go 1, 2 to here. And then Secutor will move in here and attack Archer, because it can't reach leader, and that will probably kill her. But then next turn, leader will kill Provocateur, probably. Yeah, it's a risk I'm willing to take. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okie dokie. So, yep, it's back to them anyway. And we will trigger... We'll trigger Provocateur first. Provocateur wants to attack Krakenlance, so it goes 1, 2 over here. Which means it won't be able to attack this round. Oh, it's got Inspire. Ooh, so Secutor should have thrown an extra die. Oh, that changes everything. This is the die for the second die for last time. Well, that was lucky. It came out blank. I'm sorry, I'm not deliberately rolling these off camera. It's just I was on the wrong camera. But that's also going to be bad, because now Secutor can't get to Krakenlance, which is what it wants to do, because it wants to go. It can't get 1, 2, so it'll go 1 round here to reach Archer, because it can. And now it's going to hit Archer with these 3, which is real bad. The problem is, I don't really have enough space to roll here, but this one's going to obliterate the green die. Anyway, not super stoked. Oh, that's 3. Well, that's 6 damage. I mean, that is what it is. That's 6 damage. Oh my god. So Archer's absolutely obliterated. So 1 dead chip. And our leader has to move back to the deployment zone. I don't think it really matters where I put him. Okay, I think it's time to bring Gargarai out. Yeah, Zeno of Gargarai. I have 1 more unit. God, I can't believe that was a perfect strike. Rough. Poor Archer. Obliterated. But this means on my turn I'll have... Because... I'm just making sure I've done... I just wanted one quick rules check. Nobody... just want to do one quick rules check. Bear with me. That's actually, there's the rules here for the keyword I'm looking up are not enormously in the glossary at the back are not enormously illuminative. So that's kind of annoying. Anyway, I just want to check with Dazed if it spawns not on its turn. Is it then not dazed on its turn, which I think is correct. That's what I remember from last time, but I'd like to get it right. It doesn't come up, or it hasn't come up very often so far. But that's what I did automatically in the last game, so I think that's what is the case. But seeing as how it could be really important here in my favor, I'd like to make sure that I have it exactly right. Yeah, they're dazed on the turn they're deployed. Yeah, so if they're deployed in an enemy's turn, presumably on their turn they are not dazed any longer. So, and Marmelo only has 3 as well. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so let's go for it. Xeno Gargarai. I might give him a health boost. So it's my turn. Now. And I will actually use my health booster tactic right away on Xeno Gargarai to give him 5 health, because he's going to be my MVP. And then Leader's going to use his vampiric attack on Secutor. The best I can hope for here is to steal 1 hit point, so fingers crossed that triggers. I mean, I have to attack him anyway. He's got taunt, and also Provocateur is not adjacent to me. Well, there's 2, so 2 becomes 1, and I steal a hit point from him. And now I've got to hope that Xeno of Gargarai can finish him off. Fingers crossed, because actually, currently, Xeno of Gargarai is also deadlier than Leader, which means he'll get attacked by Secutor. And he could even be killed outright, which would be the worst. So, we have here 5 dice. They're 5 of the worst dice, but they are 5. Come on. You can do it. Oh, just barely. There's 2 there, which is exactly what we needed. So we bypassed Absorb with Agile and kill Secutor. The weapon is dropped. Provocateur is warped back to their deployment zone. Murmelo comes into play. And they're back to their turn. So, actually, Murmelo can literally reach me this round. No, he can't. That's not how the game works. Let's go Provocateur first. I keep forgetting how Shackled works. Give me these dice. Give me Xeno's dice back. So, Provocateur starts. He wants to get to Xeno, actually. Xeno is the deadliest. How ironic. I'm not used to someone more deadly than Leader being on the board. Actually, I think we're currently tied. I'm not quite sure. because he's only got 5 dice thanks to Inspire, and I'm not sure if Deadliest Opponent accounts for dice from Inspire. But the thing is, this weapon also puts leader then tied for 4. So if it was just dice printed on the chip, it would be 4-3. If weapons count, then it's 4-4, and if Inspire counts, then it's 5-4 again. So I think I'm just going to have to check how many dice they've got in the moment when targets are being determined. So currently he has 5 dice, which he will always have anyway, but in this match, because he has been next to leader to Krakenlance at all times anyway. So in this case, let's go for Provocateur first, who's going to try to get to Zeno. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So yeah, he's just going to move up to here, and then Murmelo's going to go, and Murmelo's also going to try to get to Zeno and go 1, 2 around to here, and pick up this weapon. Right. And then it's my turn, and I'm going to put Hamstring on Murmelo because I can't hamstring Decimus anyway. And then my leader's going to go around to here like this. And I'm going to use my Vampiric Strike on Murmelo. So here we go. Let's see if we can steal some of his hit points. Ah. Yeah, he's got 3. One. We stole 1 hit point. It's not too bad. It's not great. Oh, and then we get Retaliate, so we take a damage back. So it works. It does nothing happens. Damn it. And then Zeno will attack with his attack and possibly kill him. We'll see. Yep, that's 3 swords. He's well dead. So, drops weapon. He's dead. Provocateur comes back here, and Decimus appears on the board. Great. Love it for me. And it's also their turn. Okay, so I'm just checking what happens when I guess when the final unit dies, Decimus will just be free to do whatever he pleases. Yeah, so presume because there's no one left in the rivals lineup, when Decimus is, or when the Provocateur is defeated, Decimus will be given free reign in the arena, so to speak. So I mean, again, they're just going to swing around each other. So the question is, who do I move first? Because if I move Decimus first, he won't get next to me. Provocateur will swing around and won't be able to attack. Yeah, actually, I've talked myself into it because I forgot Provocateur was hamstrung. So, if Decimus moves first, Decimus just comes in here like this. And then Provocateur goes 1, 2, 3 into here and picks up the weapon. But can't attack because he moved. And then I'm just going to do it again. I'm just going to swing with my vampiric attack, and then attack him with Zeno. I see 1. I see 2 swords. Nice. So actually, I've killed Provocateur. And I got 2 hit points out of it, which is nice. So does that put me on 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm back up to full health, which is nice. And then Xeno's out of range, so it's back to their turn. It's Decimus. He wants to attack Xeno. But I think he's just going to go straight for leader by picking this up. And then I think he's just going to stop because he's reached someone. Next turn, I think he will then move around the outside to try to get to Xeno. And I don't know if there's much I can do about stopping him from reaching Xeno. If I'm honest. Because they both have 2 movement. So, yeah. But for now, he's just going to attack leader. Krakenlance. He's got 1 of each. And actually, letting him pick up that yellow weapon is probably great, because it means he's less likely to hit and get a perfect strike. Hit with all 4. Less likely, but not impossible. So there's 2. 2 damage to me. That's 3. And then it's my turn, and I'll just stay put. I'll hit him with leader first. I've got 3 dice. I'm going to use the vampiric blow because it's going to be absorbed anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So there's 1. So I've stolen 1 hit point from him, which is all I would be able to get anyway. But now it's MVP. It's time for Xeno, who can bypass absorb, which is why he is MVP. And I've somehow accidentally lucked into this unintentionally. Oh, I didn't realize actually. Yeah, no, never mind. Okay, here we go. Come on, big hit, big hit, big hit. I see 2. I see 3. Nice. Can you guys see the third one? It's hiding up here. Okay, so that's really, really good. That's very lucky. Okay, so that's the end of my turn, and it's back to Decimus. And Decimus could go either way. I'll put him into the corner, just simply because I guess it gives me more options about where I move from here. Yeah, and then he attacks Xeno. So there's only one way he kills Xeno here, and I'm really scared. Uh-oh, no, no, no. I thought I'd done it. If they'd all been swords, it would have, of course, doubled to 8 and outright killed Xeno. As it stands, that's 3. I was so frightened there for a minute when I rolled that blue off camera. Oh, well, thank God for health boost. Unfortunately, I still can't get Xeno so far away that Decimus won't come and kill him next time, so here's hoping we can kill Decimus this round. I mean, I will move Xeno. He's not hamstrung or anything, so I'll just go 1-2 around to here. And then I'll hit Decimus with Vampiric Blow because... do you know why, though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 health. Why risk missing with 1 die when I could just do my stupid big attack and make sure that I do my 1 damage? I guess because ending on more health than I started with is kind of... or ending on full health is just the icing on the cake. Alright, don't blow it, Krakenlance. Nope, there's 2 there, so he steals 1 hit point. And then Xeno comes in with his 3 blues and 2 golds. Hopefully to finish the job. I mean, Absorb no longer has any effect because he's only got 1 hit point left anyway. Yeah, that's it. Decimus is dead. And we only lost 1 unit, although it was Archer, and I liked Archer. And she didn't even do anything. I mean, hooray! We did it! Well done! Good job. Good job, team. We only lost 1 unit, so that's good. I mean, that's the first Primus down, so now everything will just get harder. I guess I can put him back in the box, right? Done. Good. So we are to preserve hit points for leader, although for Krakenlance, although not for who ended on full hit points. Although for Zeno it doesn't matter. Although I didn't actually think I don't think I needed to use that second hamstring really. I probably wasted one of my tactics. And Archer, sadly, back into the baggie with her, along with everyone else who died. Hamstrings out. There we go. I kind of wish that there was a little bit of like flavor text, like, "You've done it. You've defeated the first Primus. Your first major challenge on the road to defeating Pluto's scion has begun, and you've overcome it. But further challenges, great challenges, await you. It will only get more deadly from here." That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, is there any special, There is, by the way, a book for when you defeat the Scion. So they do have a Scion epilogues book here. So this is for when you defeat the Scions. It gives you some story based on who you defeated and who you are. So we can go and read that. But that's right at the end of the game you get that. So you only get it if you make it to the end and win. And that's it. So anyway, I just want to see what the end of the act, if there's any end of the act special cleanup. Is it here? No. But now we're gonna have this Act 2 modifier in play the whole time, which is 1 extra bag enemy with a tactic for every fight. I don't like it. It makes it harder. That's fine though, you know. Harder is good. End of combat. Cleanup phase. Combat rewards. We got special rules for Primus combat. That's all I've got here. So 30. Presumably it's just going to say... Special... No. No, doesn't say anything here. So I think... probably what happens is that we move the little guy here. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. We move this little guy here onto Act 2. Might be able to see that a little better with this camera over here, I've decided. And we go back to week 0, Act 2, week 0. And other than that, I presume we've won a bloodshed, so I presume we get at least the standard upgrades for having won a bloodshed, which is also to upgrade our hero. So we get either 1 health or leadership, or we can upgrade or add a die. So I have been focusing basically entirely on the dice for our leader here, because I have this Profane the God's Power, which says that when we get to 4... are you going to work with me, camera, at all? I don't think it's going to work with me at all. Oh, that's not the right camera. Good, I just made that one go up. I'm sorry! It's too many cameras for board games. This one. Okay, so. Yes, so if I get up to an attack of 4 black dice, I will get a special prowess called Embrace the Dark. I don't know what it is, but I want it. It sounds awesome. So I've basically just been beelining for that by upgrading dice every single time. Is it a good idea? I don't know, but I've managed my hit points so far largely just by surviving on the vampiric attack, which of course does not benefit from upgrading dice. So maybe it's time to do a hit point. I mean, it's actually probably easier, because to get to 4 black dice, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more steps. And to get up to 12 hit points, I need 5 more steps. So maybe I should just get a gross amount of hit points instead. And that would also help me with my vampire thing anyway, probably. Chedicus says, what's the bag for? Well, Chedicus, let me tell you about the baggie. So, the way this game works is that there's a bunch of really boring white units. Much like real life. The white ones are the most boring. So we've got these white chips here, and they've got they're just the basic units, and then you'll find around the land here. So as we traverse the map, we'll go to all these different lands, which is also where we're going to fight specific bosses, and the chips are units associated with those different lands. So Bastarius is one of Pluto's refugees, which are actually supernatural creatures that have come from Pluto's realm, which is the underworld, and that is here. Over here, we're fighting the new Argonauts, who are Greek. Yeah. And so Decimus and the purple chips that we just fought were all the new Argonians from Greece. And so I'm the blue chips. I'm from Atlantis, so I'm an Atlantean. Anyway, when you go to these places, you will find the different fights have these different lineups here, and so you can see the blue is my enemies and the red is me, and so you fight. L chips are local chips, and then the faces are the bag chips. So the bag begins just full of white chips, and then every time you do a fight, you draw a local chip as well. And so the local chips are all lined up here on this stand. So you can see all the different color chips for all the different color lands. So here are the blue Argonian chips that we would have fought near the start. And after a fight is done, all of the chips that were in the fight that you've killed or lost as well. So my archer, for example, from the fight we just had, along with all the purple chips that were on the side of Decimus, all go into the bag. So as we make our way through the game, the bag, which was once just 4 white chips, becomes full of all the different color enemies that we've seen throughout the game. So a hodgepodge mishmash of our enemies coming for revenge, or they're the angry brothers, and so on and so forth. So there's loads of Pluto's refugees in here, because I was hanging out in that land for ages. But I've recruited 2 of them to my side as well. And then we've got this yellow chip, which is these are special event chips that come out. But presumably, when he dies, he'll also go into the bag, and then I'll have to fight him, and then I'll get him back in what is sort of an endless system of fighting your friends and making friends with them once again. But that's how we get more interesting chips into the bag. Okay, so I think I've got one more round in me before bedtime. What should we do? We've got a choice here. Now we're still in the new we're still in weird Greece. We could go pass through Vesuvius, where we'll fight horrible people. This is where we fight the main final battle against the scion of Pluto. But our next two fights are here in where we're going to fight the Parthians, and here in Kunlun, so miles away, where we'll fight Bing Quinn, the Kunlunian champion. So we could theoretically make our way over here to this harbor, and then just hightail it over here, which takes longer, or even over here. Who do we want to fight next? Because there's harbors here and here. Bypassing Vesuvius, or we could take the long way around, but we do have 12 weeks, so we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're already in Parthian. 7, 8 weeks to actually just walk there. But who do we want to fight next is the real question. Which of these chips is more easy? So we've got the Parthian hero here, who's just called the Parthian. Doesn't get a name like Decimus had a name. Parthian has first strike, which means it attacks the turn it arrives. It's got 8 hit points, range 2, movement 2. Because it's an Act 2 boss, so it has 8 hit points. It's also got Fury Aura 1. I don't know what that is, so let's find out what Fury Aura is. Oh, that's nasty. Fury Aura just means that this unit deals one damage to an opponent within hexes. So he's got Fury Aura 1, so if you stand next to him, you just take a damage. I don't like that. Triggers if it would deal damage. Triggers if it would deal damage to an opponent. This unit uses Fury Aura on the weakest opponent possible. Okay, so wait a minute. It doesn't affect everybody standing next to it. It's an ability. Triggers if it would deal damage to an opponent. This okay, so yeah, because abilities are in addition to engage, so it can still attack, right? So he does the damage to the weakest opponent next to him, but then he attacks whoever is the target. Still don't like it. And he's got dodge, which means that all of your dice, if they're better than blue dice, just become blue dice. Otherwise, first strike's not too bad. And then we've got Bing Quinn, who's got taunt, dodge, and hurl. What does number of hexes mean? Well, Chedicus, that's referring to the arena. So in this case, the Parthian's ability triggers in number of hexes away. So that is Fury Aura 1, so 1 hex, which means someone's standing next to him. So that's 2 hexes away here, 1, 2, and 1 hex away here, because we're next to him. So 1. So yeah, I mean, basically, if we try to get next to him, he's just going to pop out a damage against someone next to him. Fortunately, it's not everybody, which would be worse. But we won't be fighting him in this arena anyway. We'll fight him in a different arena. This is Decimus's arena, and we're not done with this arena yet, because we're still in the New Argonauts area. But the minute we leave this area, we'll be done with this arena. And we'll fight in a different arena. Right, so what we've got to figure out here is what is this hurl ability that Bing Quinn has got. She's also got 2 movement, but she's a melee character because she's got range 1. And she's got slightly better attack than the Parthian. She's also got 8 hit points. So we've got this kind of funny thing here as well, where in Act 2, the Primus automatically gets 8 hit points. So we could fight Bing Quinn now with the right number of hit points, but then the Parthian would have 10 hit points, which I think would suck. So we can either let the Parthian have 8 and Bing Quinn have 10, so they both have a boost of 2, which feels reasonable. Or we can fight her at the right level, but that means that he's going to have 10, giving him a big boost, which maybe is bad? I don't know. So she's got Hurl, which is this ability here. It says, if you had Hurl, the unit can choose an adjacent unit and displace it to an available hex that is no more than the number of hexes away. This is Hurl 1, so it can displace it. So she can basically pick up someone next to her and move them to another tile next to her. So she could pick up Ignean and displace Ignean to, say, over here. Right? That's what it says, isn't it? Number of hexes, no more than the number of hexes away from this. Displaces it to any available hex, no more than the number of... Yeah. So, presumably, she's like a martial artist, and she's sort of kicking them around. However, that's how it works if I use it. If the AI uses it, it says here, triggers if this movement allows a rival unit to get an attack or special when it otherwise would get neither. So I don't really see how that can happen, because... Yeah, I don't see how she can hurl 1. I don't see how she benefits from this, actually. Triggers if this movement allows a rival unit to get an attack or special that would otherwise get neither. Because she can only attack adjacent people. Or hurl adjacent people. So I'm struggling to envisage a scenario where this helps her. Because she's only range 1 anyway, so she's adjacent to them. She can already attack them. I mean, I guess it could be helpful if it allows her to move her friends, but I still don't see how she could... Because she doesn't, like, swap positions or anything, right? The unit chooses a unit exactly... No. The unit chooses an adjacent unit and displaces it to an available hex that's no more than the number away from this unit. Trigger this movement if it allows... Oh, okay. Right, I see. So here's what would happen. I'm the Ignean, right? That's my unit. She's here like this with the Parthian. So she... the Parthian's got range 2, so it's a bad example. Say this defender's on her team, right? The defender can't attack because it can only hit units adjacent to it. So she hurls him over here so he can now attack. She basically uses it to bring her friends into combat. That's what she does. That's rough. I don't like that. I'm not a fan, if I'm honest. Yeah, exactly. A rival unit is a unit that's on her side. Well, yeah, you got there faster than me, Chadicus. But I got there in the end. Yes. Not stoked about that. Alright, so... So in the interest of our continued endeavor to get our hero up to 12 hit points so I can unlock Embrace the Dark, we could go and do the Brute next, which is this one. Which says that, so we fight 3 enemy units. You can only deploy 1 non-elite unit in this combat, but they have 10 extra health. And then they have to fight 3 units. So my temptation would be to deploy Bastarius, because Bastarius has 2 movement and also Retaliate. So they'd have to get through 14 hit points with Retaliate. I'm also going to do this in this arena, and because I'm on my own, I'm just going to be over here with a massive stack of chips, and I can actually possibly play this in such a way that I at least get to pick up 2 weapons as well, and then I can just do massive attacks. So let's go and try and do that. And hopefully Bastarius won't die. But if they do, then, well, I guess then we lost. That sucks. The next enemy is Provocateur first. Provocateur only has 2 hit points. So if Provocateur attacks us twice, it kills itself. So that's good. So yeah, that's the other thing about this is that all of the local units, the first tile in the stack is face up, so we can always see who at least the first local unit is going to be. And in the case of this one, for example, there's only 1 local unit. So, although there are 2 tactics. Oh no, that's the wrong card. Sorry. Yeah, there's only 1 local unit and no tactics. Yeah, I was about to say 2 tactics could cause me a lot of problems, but there's no tactics here. So, let's do that. So let's go into here. Oh, actually, but that's already going the wrong way around. Shit. Oh, yeah, that's actually... one of my complaints. If I had any complaint about this game, is that these, the lines, the white lines on this map are quite hard to make out against certain backgrounds. So if we go up here to do the blood sport, which I now want to do, we've got time. We've got time. We've got time for 1 frivolity, because I want to. It's my game. I want to do it. So let's just do that. Let's just do what I want. Cool. Yeah, so we have to work out the enemy lineup then. So we'll take the Brute, we'll put it down here. Enemy lineup is 1 local, which is going to be the Provocateur, 2 health, and then 2 bag units. Hopefully things with low hit points. And that are slow. The first one is... Oh, it's an attacker. That's not ideal. Because attacker is quite fast. It's got... you can't see, but it's got 2 movement. 2 movement. It's only got 3 health, which is good. Those are 2 low hit point units right there. Although the attacker also has really high damage. And the last one is the Fury, another really fast low hit point unit. This is actually one of Basturius's friends. 3 movement, range 2, always does a damage. So because he's range 2, we'll have to be careful of him because we can't automatically retaliate against him. The good news is we also have combat lock, so if we stand next to him, he'll just kill himself trying to kill us. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is fun. I get to use a huge, enormous stack of chips. That's really fun. Absolute nonsense. Okay. But the enemy always gets to go first, so Provocateur and Attacker appear first. It's so sad. They've got so few chips compared to me. And then I appear over here. Yeah, I managed to draw like 3 super low hit point chips, which is nice. So I think, as usual, we let Provocateur go first. They're gonna come at me anyway. So he's gonna move up to here, and then Attacker goes 1, 2 around to here. We have to kill Attacker first, because Attacker's got gross amounts of attack. Yeah, and then we can go 1, 2 up to here and pick up this weapon here. And then we let Provocateur go. Let Attacker go first this time. Attacker actually doesn't want to move because it can't get closer to me by moving from there. And then Provocateur can go 1, 2 into here. Provocateur also has Inspire, so ideally we need to kill Attacker before it can attack at all, because it currently would attack with 2 yellows, 2 blues, and a black, which is gross. And then Provocateur comes at me with 1 black die, which is so sad. And it does a damage, which also hurts it. Because I retaliate. Alright, cool. And then it's back to my turn. I think I'm just going to go up here and pick up this other weapon. Because I can go wherever I want. Suckers. Now I'm going to get attacked by them both, though, which sucks. But I guess it is what it is. I probably can't avoid them forever. Yeah, this is fine. Completely fine. But who do I move first? Is there a way to move them one first so this is clever? There's not. I guess the question is, where do I want... No, I think I will move Provocateur first. So Provocateur has to move in here. And then that gives me the option of putting Attacker over here or over here. And I'll put... It doesn't actually matter. I don't think this matters at all. I'll move Attacker around here. And then they're both going to attack, so... But wait, if Provocateur goes first and kills himself... Yeah, then Attacker won't get to attack, which is brilliant. So let's let Provocateur go first and kill himself. Provocateur attacks, does a damage to me, and kills himself. Which means that Attacker has to respawn to here. Dumbass. And then Fury comes out. And now it's back to me. This was so rigged. This was so dumb. This has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. Okay. So I'll go 1, 2 like this, and then I'll attack... I'll attack the attacker, because the attacker's gross. How many dice do I attack with? 2 greens, a black, and a blue. Well, that's 4, so attacker's dead. This was super rigged. Sometimes they're really hard, and sometimes they're just not. And then it's Fury's turn. Fury can't even move because it's combat locked by Bastaris. I mean, Bastaris was kind of the perfect unit for this setup. So it just attacks me. It actually avoids Retaliate because it's got Agile. So it just attacks me and I take a damage. This seems too easy. Chadicus, yeah. I mean, the thing is, one of the things I've observed, and this is not unique to Hoplomachus Victorum. This is something I've noticed in chip theory games in general, because the fights can be very modular, and there's a lot of elements that go into them. It's true of Too Many Bones to an extent, and it's exceptionally true in Burn Cycle. I actually think Burn Cycle was the worst for this. Because the scenarios... And, I mean, the thing about Burn Cycle is it's the entire game. Because Burn Cycle is not like Too Many Bones or Hoplomachus Victorum, where these two are sort of linked fights. They're like, each fight is a mini event, and they're all linked as part of a longer game. Burn Cycle is 1, 2, or 3 floors, and each floor is its like own modular scenario. But based on the sort of random assembly of the modules that make up the scenario, or in this case the mini events, some of them can just be much easier than others. And yeah, this is of course a symptom of the chip I had, the arena we're in, and the scenario card. And they just, in this case, they shaked out real easy. There was one I was doing, I think it was actually off camera. I'm going to see if I can find the card. Might have been it was a sport, actually. It wasn't a... It was one of these. Hang on. Yeah. So, this one came out in... Actually, maybe I did do this on camera. Did I do this on camera? The Corpse Blockade. Whenever a unit is defeated, place a health chip on their hex. Hexes with health chips are blocked. So I did this in Pluto's Refugees. And it's capture the flag. So basically you have to lure the enemies off of the flag. Because if an enemy dies on the flag, it blocks the flag and you can't pick it up. And that's obviously designed to be this way. Because it's the Corpse Blockade can only be capture the flag. But in Pluto's Refugees, the arena has two other wild animals. It has two wild animals that are attacking both sides. And so it just made everything like way more harder and made it so much easier for me to just completely block the flag so I couldn't even access it. And that was just by dint of having drawn that card in Pluto's Refugees. And like to an extent, these chip theory games rely on you to like look at the card and go, okay, that's going to be really difficult in this arena. So don't pull that card in this arena. But you only have so much control over that. And it's very easy, because there's so much overhead, it's very easy to sort of, or rules overhead, it's very easy to make that mistake and just get yourself into a scenario that becomes much more difficult than you anticipated. Which is why I don't feel bad about taking this easy win. Having said that, the Fury does have Agile, so I'm going to have to kill it now myself. I've killed it. It's dead. I win. Sorry, we only have to do this like 8 more times before we get to the Parthian. One down. Look, we took like 2 health. This scenario, this arena is really sort of an odd arena. I think it feels really it feels a little bit like the enemies kind of were stuck doing just the same movements over and over again. And there wasn't a huge amount of dynamicism to their movements. And they couldn't really do much about that. Anyway, we will be leaving this area shortly, but first I'd like to have my my hit point upgrade, please. So I'll go from 7 to 8 hit points on leader. Do I get, when I upgrade my hit points, do I immediately get a hit point? Yes, I do. So I should have 8 health now. Perfect. Fantastic. That's awesome. Right, and now we're still stuck here, actually, for at least one more match. So we discard the Brute. We get back Poison Darts. At the start of each of your turns, deal 1 damage to your hero if they're not in combat. That's fine. We can put hero into combat. That's one of the 3 I set up when I spectated. And for this one, we've got Trickster's Incline, which we already looked at, which is the one where I can discard. It's King of the Hill. It's 3v3, but they've got extra tactics. But I can discard tactics to start with more points. However, I only have 1 tactic. So I guess we could do that before we leave, because we've got... The thing is, do I go to the dock over here? Or do I mean, if I do that, that's going to be... So that was week 1, by the way. That was the first week. Oh, shit. They absolutely should have had I have to do that whole fight over again. I have to do that whole fight over again because it's Act 2 and they should have had an extra chip. Y'all didn't remind me. That's why it was too easy, Chatticus. They should have had an extra bag chip with a tactic. To the end of the rival lineup. Do over. Undo it. Take away those rewards. Restart. There we go. Okay, so let me try this again. Sorry, everyone, for repeating content here, but that's going to probably make this actually a lot more difficult, because if I pull, based on what chip I pull, it could be, let's just have a look here. Is there a tactic here that ends the game? I think hamstring would be the worst. But it also depends on what I pull out the bag here as well. So let's hope for something that's not too bad. Uh-oh. The Bolus Hunter. Okay, so it's the Bolus Hunter. Okay, so she's got confidence, so we don't want to let her get to be the only one on the board. She's only got one movement, but she's an archer, which means she comes with bolster health for the weakest ally. So when she comes out, she's going to give 2 more hit points back to the weakest ally. Okay, so... right, now I've given them all the wrong color hit points. It's alright. Bear with me. And what was it? Bolster health? Right. I still think this is doable. Just less doable. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And now I'm 1 short because I gave my leader 2 more. But he shouldn't have one of them yet, so he can give that one back as well. Okay, so here we go. Take 2. So, they pop Provocateur out here, they pop Attacker out here. That's their turn, and now it's my turn. I go out here. We launch Provocateur first. Attacker comes in here. Just like before. I go up here. Just like before. Just like before, we trigger Attacker first. Attacker can't get to me. But Provocateur has Tactical. So, Provocateur should have 2 extra health. It should take the boost health for itself. Because it takes it and applies it to the weakest... Yes, weakest ally, which is itself. So now it has 4 health. Which is a little bit more scary. So now we trigger Attacker. Attacker can't get to me. So Provocateur runs around here and attacks me with 1 die. Which is a blank, so it does nothing. And I still think I'd rather go and get that weapon. So I can just maximize my attacks before anything else happens. So I'll go 1, 2 to the north. Pick this up. And then it's still back to them. This is going to play out practically the exact same way. Except this time, an attacker's going to actually get to attack me. So we should see things begin to differentiate now. You can't see attacker at all. What have I done? I think because these generic starting chips have such similar names, I'm used to... I started calling Krakenlance, who's actually a hero. I just started calling him Leader. Because when he started out, I had like Defender, Archer, and Attacker, and Leader. But of course, Krakenlance is not called Leader. He's called Krakenlance. And he's a hero, not actually a leader. There we go. Okay, so now I can choose the order of the attack. We might as well do Provocateur first, although I don't think it matters. So he's got a sword, so that's one off both of us. And then it's going to be a big attack from attacker. I'm not super excited for this. I'm going to roll this over here because there's not even enough room over there to roll these on camera. Incredibly, I've blanked out. Which just goes to show when you... it's good karma because I'm doing it right. I reset the whole thing. So that's one for attacker and one for me. And now it's my turn. And I would like to hit... I'm tempted to do Provocateur, if only because Inspire is rough. And I can probably pick off Attacker next turn. So yeah, let's get rid of Provocateur if I can. Provocateur still has a lot of health. So what have I got? 2 greens... a black and a blue. So come on, 4 swords. We can do it. We can do it. 4 swords. Oh no, it's just 2. That's a bummer. I don't know. The blue die seems to be particularly shiny. So that's going to be 2 damage, which is not enough. But fortunately now we should hopefully get Provocateur to kill themselves on us if we can. So it's back to them, and we'll let Provocateur go first. Oh my god, I blanked out. That's such a pain. Things are very different this time around. I'm not enjoying it. It's fun. Let's see if I can blank out again on attacker. I'm too tall. I'm so tall. Nope. Oh my god. That's perfect strike. Except fortunately attacker's not local. Or else that would be 10 damage. That's still 5, which is gross. I guess that's the laws of averages for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that's the laws of averages for blanking out last time. Woof. Okay, well, I still want to kill Provocateur. Yeah, geez is right. That was rough. Okay, so here's mine into Provocateur. What I should have actually done... No, I was just thinking what I should have done was moved. Because I've got, obviously, free movement, and they don't, but it doesn't matter. So if I want to attack there's nowhere I could move and stay in combat that attacker couldn't get me anyway, so it wouldn't have made a difference. Oh, that's so annoying. I rolled 3, but he's only got 1 hit point, so that's fine. He's dead. Attacker respawns back here. I forgot it was my turn. That was foolish. Fortunately, I can choose the order of their movement. Unfortunately, Fury has range, so it's not going to matter. Oh, it is going to matter. Yes, it will matter. Actually, yes. Good. I can compensate for my stupid mistake, which was that I should have probably just killed attacker. Anyway, it's their turn. I'll trigger attacker first. Attacker can't actually move to get into a better position, so it doesn't. And then Fury moves 1 up to here, so it can shoot from there. And it does 1 damage to me, which I can't retaliate on. Good, and then it's my turn. And I'll move into here, and I'll attack attacker. Because screw attacker. Attacker is way too hard. Hey, I see 2 swords. There's 2 swords there. So attacker is done. Weapon respawns to there. Fury's moved back here. And then Bolus Hunter comes out here. And then it's back to their turn. And they're both just going to attack me. And yeah, we want to kill Bolus Hunter first because she's got confidence. This is going to be a lot closer. So you were right, Chaticus, when you said, is it to... If the Provocateur rolled 3 swords, don't you take any damage? Yeah, if the Provocateur rolls 3 swords, I take 3 damage. The Provocateur only rolls 1 die. Because it's got 1 die there on its thing. 1 black die. So then, yeah, so then it's their turn to attack, and Fury hits me for 1, which, because she's agile, I can't attack back. Bolus Hunter's going to roll 2, which is a black and a gold. And that hits for 1. I get this to... Let me just get this to be a little less shit. That's slightly better, isn't it? There we go. Good. So that was 1, so that's another damage there. I can't retaliate because we're at range. So then it's my turn, and I'll go 1 up to here. I'll attack. This is going to be really close. I really kind of need to kill Bolus Hunter this turn. That's 3, so that'll do it. And then it's Fury's turn, and Fury gets 1 on me. And then I get to attack Fury back. Well, then it's my turn, I get to attack Fury. And that's 4, so Fury's just dead. Yeah, that was a lot closer. But I still won. I mean, it still wasn't too bad, really. I think I still think that was just a particular configuration of events that led to this map made that way easier than it would have been otherwise, I think. Because there's a world where they get on different maps, they could get more out at once, potentially deploy up to 3 or 4 units if I don't kill them fast enough. And again, also this particular deployment line happened to come out with relatively low hit point units. I mean, most units average, 3 to, or around 3 hit points. So the fact that there's 2 3s and 2 2s is pretty good, rather than a 5. So I'll stick with the extra hit point, and that's the end of week 1. And fortunately, Bastarius is still alive, still with us. We get an extra hit point here on our glorious leader. And there we go. We've gone over the 2-hour mark. So I think I'm going to call that a stream. Thought we could get one more in, but then I had to redo that because I cheated. Fortunately, Chaticus was here to keep me honest, to keep me on track. So thank you to Chaticus for that. And thank you everyone who's watching and hanging out. What I'm going to do, I think, is I've not got much planned this week in terms of live streams. So I'll probably leave this set up and we'll come back to it very soon. I'm not sure when, but if you keep your subscriptions on the channel, turn on your notifications, you'll certainly know when we come back for more of this. We've got to get through... Well, it'd be nice to do a long one, actually, if there's an opportunity. So we'll have to see when that can happen. But make sure you keep your eyes on the channel for that. And in the meantime, I hope you're all having a lovely Easter. You managed to go and do a fun Easter egg hunt or something like festive like that. But thanks everyone so much for hanging out. And of course, I should mention very quickly that the This was played on the Game Topper, so big thanks to Game Topper for giving us that Game Topper to play on, where we have enough space to set up all of our games. Although this one's a nice, manageable one. One thing I will say about this game is that it is very easy to set up and very easy to tear down and save your progress as you go. So that's a big plus in its corner for that. I'm slowly picking up the gameplay on this one. Yeah, it's not too bad once you get the hang of it. The back and forth is very quick, but you do need to sort of internalize the movement of the enemies, and then it's really just all about deciphering those keywords. And of course, every time you change arena, you have to learn a little bit more, because each arena has their own sheet here, which the key, actually, the most important thing on this sheet, which, rather than wait for that to focus, maybe we can get it over here, is this line along the bottom here. So you see this target line here. That's who they're going to target in terms of movement and attacking. So the bolded ones are movement and attacking. The unbolded ones are just for movement. So for movement, they will try to get a weapon if they can't get into range of the deadliest opponent or the flag holder. In this priority order, each different arena that changes up to be slightly different. So as long as you get your head around that, you'll be alright. And we will probably be changing arena very soon, although I have managed to wander right into the middle of the new Argonauts territory. We'll be heading off to the Parthians or Kunlun very soon. And I hope you'll come back and join me for that. In the meantime, I'm going to roll the credits for our Patreons. Chadicus is one of them. And of course, if you are a Patreon, you do get to have a say in what we play on the show. I just managed to secure a review copy of a game that some Patreon, I'm not sure who, because I have a voting form which is anonymous, but one of them at least has been asking for this in the wishful thinking box, where you can put games I don't own, for a long time. I managed to secure a review copy of that, so that'll be coming for gameplay very soon. In the meantime, if you want to get involved, please come and join us on the Discord, or we'll be doing giveaways and things like that. There is a giveaway going on at the moment. It's a bit too late to enter for that, but there will be more in the future, and you can maybe get your hands on something we've reviewed on the show, something like that. Anyway, for now, have a lovely Easter, and hopefully I'll see you all soon for the next video. Bye for now.